we are live, going live, and I'm just going to set up the thing. In 100 interviews, I've not learned, 90 interviews, I've not learned how to set it up so that it doesn't start speaking up the minute it loads. So give me 1 second to do that. And live, yeah. All right. So 90th mom is here. Zahra, can you hear me clearly?
Absolutely.
And the countdown begins to 100 from Zahra. The last 10, we are moving forward, and so many of you have showered so much love in this book, and the messages are coming at 89 when I like so many messages came. Wow, you're reaching 90, they're cheering me up, the book is being cheered up, and we're going to bring these 100 moms to the world and their stories in a comfortable book. The comfortable book starts, the interview ends, the next stage starts, and what all is happening. So thank you everyone who's been supporting this. Thank you to all the moms. And it's just, this speaking right now is giving me goosebumps. And very soon we're going to be 100. Like, I don't know what's going to happen to me when I say 100 mom has been reached. So welcome Zahra, yet another beautiful, beautiful mom I have discovered. I knew about her through a friend when we started the project, and I did speak to her, and things, when they have to align, they align, and from maybe being the 10th mom, she's become the 90th mom, but she's in, and Sarah is here, Dr. Sarah is here, so Zahra, it's a pleasure knowing you, and it's a pleasure reading you in the book. And I always say that mothers who live their story tell their story the best. So please go ahead to your journey, introduce everybody to yourself, what's your journey been like, and then we'll talk about you being a mom and self-portraits, so much more.
Thank you so much, Shikha. I have to say that I am honored to be part of this wonderful project. And, especially because this project of yours comes at a very beautiful juncture in my own life's journey. And as you said, you connected with me in the beginning when probably the 10th mom was, on. And there has been so much that has happened in that gap. And, I was just meant to be here and part of this project at this time. So I really thank you for that. Very grateful. So, for introducing myself, I am, I would say right now, someone who is just picking up on cues and nudges and getting along. And I am actually starting on a fresh slate. So I would have liked to say the things that, I have been in the past, but I'd just like to say that I am an aware human. And so I am excited about, the journey of my life here on.
I wish you all the luck for that.
Thank you.
And the thing is that the journeys that we've taken, Zahra, each part of it is part of us, right? And each part, good and bad, must be celebrated, must be honored, must be released. And so many mums are doing that through this self-portrait journey. They're releasing, they're expressing. You've taken a self-portrait workshop, you've done it, and you're now a healer. You're working in the space of sacred spaces. So let's talk about that. If you don't want to talk about your, what your journey has been, because it's a fresh start. But I must say that we must share an inspiration that happened about you climbing the mountain. You must, because so many people give up, and when they hear that story of you being able to climb that thing, it is for the world to realize what we go through. Sometimes we go through so that the world can get inspired. We have some work to do for the world. So we must talk about that little story, and then we move into what you're doing at the moment with sacred spaces, healing, and then you as a mom, and then we move forward.
Sure. So this happened actually about 2.5 years back, in about May of 2019. And I have been an interior designer for over 2 decades, and I was running a design studio. And I had this strong nudge to just take a sabbatical.
Oh,
And it was at a time where that was the only source of income for my family. But the nudge was so strong that I had to just surrender. So I took this sabbatical the day I decided that, okay, I'm going to surrender and I'm going to take the sabbatical. The next day, there was, an asset of ours that, we had been trying to monetize for a really long time. And I received a call from a client saying that, they were interested, and, the asset got sold, and we had adequate resources to bank upon to take me through this, whole phase of my sabbatical. Money was taken care of. And the first thing that I decided to do was to overcome my limitation of my body. So I had this knee issue since childhood. So right from the time that I was about 9 or 10 years old, I wasn't able to sit down on the floor cross-legged, or like, to I wasn't able to bend my knees. And like every doctor that my parents had taken me to had asked me not to, like, sit down on the floor or bend my knees. And I led a kind of a restricted life. So, even climbing stairs was a challenge during certain phases where, I was having, the issue. And I was like, I want to overcome this. I can't keep living with this limitation and becoming comfortable by not doing the things that cause the pain. I wanted to do everything. So I really had always dreamt of doing a trek to the Himalayas. And I said, I'm going to do this, the first thing. So I connected with a friend who goes there every year, and he had scheduled to trek the Himalayas like in about 3 months down the line. So all I had was 3 months. I had to take care of this knee and make sure that I climb and finish the trek. So I started working on my body. But besides working on my body, I also did a lot of inner work. So there was a lot of emotional work, a lot of fear, insecurity, and a lot of the emotional blockages that were actually, out there blocking all the cells in my knees right from my childhood. So all of that inner work, inner child work was done. The releases happened. I worked on my body through yoga with the help of my yoga guru. And I was able to do the trek. And, from a child who was like asked not to sit on the floor to climbing a mountain was so liberating. Like, I just can't stress enough of, how liberating that was, that, you can actually just do anything, and limitations are just something that are in the mind, and something that you can actually just release when you want to.
Interestingly, Zara, this Dr. Sara is here, and I think she really needed to listen to this. And if Dr. Sara is there, just say yes, because I can see her in the chat, and she really needed to hear the message you gave. And the fact is that it's possible to heal yourself. It's possible.
Yeah,
Dr. Sarah
absolutely.
herself is one of the moms in the book, and she's so inspirational with her story when her daughter was told that she would not have a normal childhood, and she worked since the time she was born, and then for 1 year and one fine day she was declared everything is okay with this child. It's the dedication of Dr. Sarah towards her not giving up. She went to places. I think the day she was told, she didn't even believe that she was declared that everything is fine with this child, and she'll absolutely. So that's where Dr. Sarah is coming from. So she's an inspiration, but she needs some inspiration now, and she knows very well what I'm talking about. So I think you already have somebody to listen to this. And climbing mountains, recently I've watched the movie 14 Peaks, and even that movie has given me more of a boost, even if I'm not climbing peaks like him. But everybody must watch it, because anything is possible. Just anything.
Mm,
It's just like so infinite possibilities are there, and
absolutely.
it's so possible. And when you take charge, you inspire the world to go ahead and say it's possible. And crossing the physical boundaries, healing yourself, releasing, and now you're stepping into share this with the world as a healer, and I'm so glad that you're doing that because you're beautiful. I've seen you through photos in the last workshop, and I can connect to your soul. It's so beautiful to know you, Zara. And moving on from there, now you're working in sacred spaces as well. What does that mean? To like, what do you mean by you're working in sacred spaces?
Yeah, so what actually, was channeled to me a couple of years back was this very beautiful process of cleansing the energies of spaces. And when this channeling happened, I received it, and I did, constantly use it for people's spaces. And what essentially, happens is that the cosmic energies, the universal energies, which are all a part of us, all, around us, but we don't necessarily connect with them. We don't necessarily experience them physically, but they come into our space and they help us in our journey from there.
Yeah.
So, besides, the space cleansing experience that I shared with you, there have been various, experiences that I've had, and especially in these past few months, um, these experiences have pushed me into a space of accepting, myself as a healer, of accepting the gifts that, I have, of actually healing people, healing myself. And having accepted that, being able to use that along with designing of spaces. So it's actually a combination of so many years and experience of designing spaces, creating, spaces for people physically, but also bringing in the spiritual aspect and unifying that and creating a space which is not just pleasant to look at, but is actually a space that takes you forward in your own spiritual journey and your spiritual growth.
Right, beautiful. And that's a new thing. And it's just like actually all of us are heading towards like I'm doing it with self-portrait, you're doing it with interiors. When you take this path, you start heading towards connecting to energies, connecting to stories, connecting to spaces like you're doing it. So it's a beautiful thing that you brought the interior element into it. And just to put a question out, because there would be a question coming in people's mind that does it happen that once you create a space with that cosmic energy that you're talking about, even if people are not connected, will they connect? Will it happen to them? Will their journeys in spiritual life go ahead?
So, I'd like to share an example which recently happened. And so there was this lady who wanted to do up her house, and she had been connecting with me for over a year. But I was in this space where I was on a sabbatical, and I didn't really want to take up a project that would be purely interior design as such, because I was evolving. The things that I wanted to bring out to the world, my gifts, my person itself was in this whole space of transformation. So I did not really keep telling her that I won't be able to do it, but I knew that there was something that I needed to contribute in that space. And she wanted me to do it purely design wise. So I traveled to Mumbai, and the day I came, and I had this intervention where there were few spirits from her home that actually visited me, and they connected with me, and they communicated a lot that needed to be communicated to her. And one of the spirits, which was her mother, passed on certain messages for her. The other spirit was her son, who also passed on messages to her. And another spirit was her father in law. So once I received the messages from them, I communicated it to her. And there were these answers that she was seeking in her own life journey at that time. And they were related to her home also, very specifically. So she did not approach me with this perspective at all. She approached me with purely design perspective, wanting to do her home. But it's actually, the cosmic energies, the spirits, the entities, whatever you may want to call it, are there. They are playing their role. It's just that we are not able to see them or communicate with them, but they are there. They are playing their role, and they want to push you through whatever it is, that you're going through. And for me, space as such is my portal. It is, it is my window through which I can help people. And that's how, I would say the connection happens. The meeting of, the physical and the metaphysical for me happens through space.
Right.
And that's how I reach people out through spaces.
Beautiful. And just to hear you, it's a beautiful thing, and I can so feel it. You're so aligned with it. And I told you there are a lot of healers who joined us as moms here, energy healers who are joining in, and maybe they're joining in to bring this book also together. In fact, this is I still didn't know till the time you sent me that you're a healer, and I connected to you like purely based on my instincts earlier and the second time, purely based on the instinct. And I think this is just beautiful what you just said, and I can feel it. I can feel the alignment, the mission that's going to come out of it to help. And that's what this book is all about. 100 self-portrait, but 100 dreams. 100 dreams should come out through this book, and the mingling of these 100 moms to inspire many moms in the book is what we're doing. And let's move on to you being a mom. And would you like to talk about your journey as a mother and how's it been, and where are we headed? Because this is a mom's project, and let's have some discussion on that.
Yeah, so my journey as a mom actually began with a bang. And it wasn't the most pleasant way to begin, but it was, I would say, really, really strong. So when I was 8 months pregnant with my first child, I lost my father. And at the same time, during the same duration, I also lost my marital home due to a family feud. So with my first child, I'm pregnant with her, and we were at a space where we had nowhere to go. So it it came in with huge challenges. First of all, being a mother itself was something which I wasn't completely prepared for, and this was something that I wasn't prepared for in any which way. But yeah, we went along, and things did find their way. And I would say this actually brought in a lot more reason for me to be way stronger, to face life head on. So after I gave birth to my child, a year after that, I actually started working as an interior designer. And in fact, very interestingly, I recall that I had sold my wedding jewelry to buy my first laptop, because we had very limited resources at that time. And how, like, wedding jewelry, and like especially in Indian context, there's so much like emotion attached to it. But I think that was something that I did. And it was from that point on, like, there was no attachment as such to things which are, you know, what I actually saw was the worth of what had happened just with that jewelry was to be able to provide for the family and to be able to provide for my children. And yeah, that's how I actually began my journey as a mother.
Yeah, and as you look back, whenever you do, whoever does, when you learn around, you know how the pieces are falling. But when it's happening, you don't understand it. But everything is falling for a reason. The paths we are going to choose in the future is where we are put right now, and um, uh, like that's what it's teaching me more and more. The more stories I'm hearing of mothers, the more I'm connecting to mothers, the more I see. I look back from being a 6-year-old child to till here. The journey I've taken was all meant to bring these mothers together, and it's clear after I'm turning 40. It's not clear. So I'm so glad that you've been able to come out of it and you're shining, and that's what we are trying to say to so many moms who give up. Like you say, no, it's and we hang on and we just keep going round and round in circles, and we just can't get out. And then these mothers in this book are going to tell their stories and tell the world it's possible. It's possible to still shine. It's possible to heal. It's possible to move forward. And people like you, Zara, definitely, lead with that kind of thing. So I love the fact that you've taken the path and you've healed yourself from all this journey. How old are your children now?
My older one is 22 and
Wow,
my younger one is 15.
wow. So
Yeah,
talking about good 21 years back, and
yes.
this is beautiful. This is beautiful, Zara. And we want to move forward to the self-portrait, and you have taken the self-portrait journey. That was styling some of the people who did it with you. So Francis has joined us, and if Francis can tag Francis, you're in the chat. If you can tag the other who were there, it'll be lovely for them to meet Zara in comments here. Um, so I was just trying to tag people, but I'm not so good at talking and typing. Um, but the whole self-portrait journey, you took it. When you started, you were doing it very silently with this workshop. You were absorbing, you were taking, and then you emerged like that with your pictures. And what I felt, we all felt you like straight away when we saw your pictures in the workshop, and that whole thing of embracing it fully. And now you're just like moving forward. The latest picture is just amazing. Nobody can say it's not been taken by a good photographer. So I told you, you also have a photographer sitting inside of you to get explored. So what's this whole journey? And you're working with women around you, and do you feel those restrictions with women? Do you feel that when you're working with your clients, because you are working with a lot of mothers, do you feel that? And now being in this energy zone, do you feel that? And what's the whole journey? Because you've already taken the self-portrait journey for you.
Um, so yes, I would say that there is that level of suppression, that is there in women. And yeah, especially interacting with my clients, with people around me, I can sense that, suppression, which is not very evident, or it's not a very dramatic, suppression, I would say, but it's very subtle. It is so subtle that at times even they don't recognize it as suppression.
Right.
It just becomes a part, or rather a way to live life. Like, it's just very ordinary and it just gets passed on into daily life. But I think to be able to step out and overcome that also are those little mountains that we need to climb as women on a daily basis. So, doing that one mountain climb, yes, it is empowering, but overcoming these suppressions wherever they are, surfacing from, be it from your male counterparts, or be it from society, be it from the extended family, be it from wherever, like your career space. overcoming these small mountains, I think, is what we need to do on a daily basis, and I think that is most liberating and most empowering. So one of the things that I definitely do want to contribute is to be able to empower women, and that is something which is really close to my heart. And in whatever way that happens, be it through my story, be it through a social enterprise that I would be undertaking at some point in life, or be it through writing, be it through using my body as an artist, as an actor, that is something that's really close to me, is to be able to empower women to release these suppression layers, and to just shine out, overcome them, and be out there, own themselves.
Right. And that's why since beginning, the the only condition I put no conditions of what your story should be. There's no criteria of coming in the interview. It's all based on how I'm connecting. But the only thing I'm telling everybody to do self portraits, because that's the journey where we see a visual of ourselves, and through the process of doing that visual, we become sensitive to everything that we are carrying to bring that visual out. And that journey itself, brings so much on the surface. And it's not that I'm doing self portraits and I'm done with it. It just keeps coming up. Every time you do it, something will come up. Every time you do it, something will come up. It just doesn't subside so easily. But if that work is started, and we can embrace this whole embodied ourselves, and express ourselves and love ourselves and look at ourselves, and not even think that we have to criticize any part of our picture or whatever, because it's such a still thing, and then go beyond and express. Like, I still love the way you expressed yourself after yoga, and on the floor we could feel Zara, we could see you, and to be able to reach that is commendable. To be able to make people feel you, and you just said, as an art, your body, your acting, whatever it takes, you did that in that picture. So that was beautiful for me. That's really beautiful. And you're doing it more and more and more. So Zara is coming out more and more and more through that energy, through that picture, through her picture. And I think this will connect to someone who really needs to meet Zara.
Yeah,
So that's going to be beautiful. So thanks for taking that courage as well and stepping into self-portrait,
thank
and
you.
wanting to use anything and whatever it takes for women to get released. So that's beautiful, Zara. So
Yeah.
what's your dream, Zara? And that's my the book is called 100 Self-Portrait, 100 Dreams. We are all going to hold the dreams. We are all going to. My dream is for these 100 dreams to come true. So let's know what your dream is.
When you talk about dreams, it's so interesting, because when you have a dream, there are so many other people who are co-creators of that dream.
Right?
It's
Beautiful.
like, you know just like how your book is your dream, but it's a co-creation of the 100 of us,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
it's a
And
co-created
more.
dream.
And so many
So
more people are joining the books. It's co-creation.
absolutely,
Many people,
it's
many people.
yeah. So for me, I would say, I have two dreams. One is to heal people, to be a healer, and to contribute to people's healing journey. However, however, in fact, I am nudged to do that, I am ready. And be it through creating healing spaces for people, be it through various healing modalities like shamanism, reiki, space cleansing that I practice, be it through writing. I am just out there, I want to heal people. And I few years back, I had this dream that I want to create healing spaces, something which is more like a space where people come and they experience healing, where the whole space is created with the cosmic energies, being a part of the co-creation, along with design which is sensually pleasing. And this was a dream that I held on to very, very dearly. And these 2.5 years of my sabbatical brought in a lot of shifts. They, I would say, brought in a lot of facets to my own self, which I didn't know, or rather, I wasn't aware of that existed. And once I uncovered those facets of mine, the dream, the details of that dream changed. So the dream still remains, but beautifully, there has been someone, who's come into my space, who wants to create, a space, which is a healing space for certain tribals. And there's this whole beautiful project, that's he's come up with, which I am a part of. So I am out there, and he and all the various people who are part of the project are there as co-creators of my dream. So the details changed, but the
Yes.
dream remains.
Oh
And
yes.
dream, yeah, another dream of mine is to empower women, which I already told you. And I see myself empowering women in various capacities. And one of the main reasons, rather, I would say one of the main nudges that I actually got to train, to become an actor, which was a childhood dream of mine, which I didn't nurture at that time. But I got this nudge and I trained to be an actor. And I see myself, using this instrument, this body, to allow that, empowering to happen, for women. So yeah.
Zara is just so beautiful. You're so beautiful, and I just, suddenly I just have these emotions. Like, sorry, I just close my eyes and everything, and I suddenly get this. It happens to me, I just suddenly get this wave of sound kind of a vision, and I envision you as a beautiful, beautiful soul coming in light, and you've done a great deal of work for yourself, and time has come, and your tribal project sounds very interesting. And wow, to do originally tribals were the people who had this whole thing with them of healing. They had the clues, and they had everything that's needed to be connected to this cosmic energy. They were more closer to cosmic energy, and probably they are
Absolutely.
also losing it with today's thing, or they're not. I'm not sure what you're doing, but just to be able to be around them is another kind of experience, and then co-creating with them your dream. It's gonna be out of the world, Zara. It's gonna be out of the world, and I can already envision it. I can see it. I can feel it, and I feel that you were chosen for the right thing, and you're the right person to do it. I know it's going to unfold very soon in a few months. I can already, I can, I don't know why I can feel it, but hats off to you and good luck for that project. And thanks for, sometimes we are meant to do what we are meant to do, but we don't accept it. We don't, take steps towards being that. So even those steps are courageous ones that you've taken. So thank you for doing that. And when your dream of empowering women, we have 100 women joining your hands to do that, because many women in this book have that dream to empower women, and joining hands across the world, and first being the moms, and then being ourselves, and then our dreams, and then this book, and now the latest dream of mine, which you keep saying keeps changing. The dream remains the same, but it keeps changing. Is for bringing all the 100 moms to India and hold this book in their hand and hold these 100 stories. I am going to take a picture and have a 3 day or 4 day retreat with all these moms mingling with each other, producing, whatever they're good at, getting that out, and just getting to know each other. For me, all that will be a side thing. For me, I wake up hugging one or the other mom who I've met in this interview, because I'm done with sitting on this screen. I'm done with, saying that, oh, hi, I like you, I love you. I really want to give big hugs. Francis is there, Lucy is there, you are there, everybody. I just want to give big hugs to everybody. And I see that I'm getting down to the car, and all the 100 moms are standing, and I will get to meet them. We'll make that dream possible. COVID, no COVID, what happens, how, money, what, we don't know. But we've thrown it out. I can feel it. I don't have words to say. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Lucy's here. Details keep changing, but the dream and yeah, dream doesn't change. Dream doesn't change, and the more you dream, it just expands and it expands and it just keeps taking you closer to it. So I'm excited. You can see for you, Zara. I'm very excited. I don't know why I'm suddenly I had a long tiring day running after kids and everything today, but I'm so excited for you. So thank you for being part of this book. And you know, I didn't give up till 90th. You started at 10. I did not give up because there's something who's working for you, for me, for the book, for these 100 months to come together. It was already decided somewhere in this universe that these are the 100 moms that have to come, and they will come, whether on 10th or 90th, they'll make it to the book. That's for guarantee. This energy of this book is there for sure.
I can
So
feel the energy of the book. And Shikha, you have amazing energy and you're so aligned. You are so aligned.
I'm getting goosebumps saying this because it's like um, it's just beautiful. So Zara, you're gorgeous, and I'm just getting emotional because I'm reaching the 100 moms and to meet the 100 souls that decided to be together at this journey. Incredible, incredible. I'm just getting emotional. So let that be. Thank you so much. Would you like to say something before we wrap up? And then, anyway, welcome to the book, and we're going to do this together.
Yeah, so I would just, like to reiterate again that, dreams are something that we are born with and they stay with us, even if the details change. In fact, I would say, that just surrender the details to the higher source, because when the source does the details for you, it's the best way to go.
Yeah, it is, it is, it is. And I'm so aligned with that. And I'm so glad to meet you, Zara. So Francis are there. Francis is cute. You think both of you have very good energy. Francis, I love Francis from day one. Even Francis is growing at levels that is unbelievable, and I'm seeing all these journeys, witnessing here since I know these moms. So thank you, Francis. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Dr. Sarah, for being the moms in the book and also bringing so much to this book. And thank you so much. So we're going to go off live. Welcome to the book, Zara. You made it to the interview. You're the 90th mom. The countdown begins. The next 10 days, we will finish the 10. We'll not finish the 10 moms, but we'll finish the interviews with 10 moms. And part 2, like 14 peak 1 done, peak 2, peak 3. There might be about 15-20 peaks I have to travel before the book comes out. But the first peak is done on 3rd of February. It's decided. Wait for the 100th mom on 3rd of February. And we're done with the first part. So brilliant.
Yay! Thank you, Shikha. Thank you for doing this.
I was meant to. I was chosen to. So I'm going to go off live. And thank you. Bye bye. Bye.